ToonGrin.com.
It's 2:40 a.m. We're both unbelievably tired, but the trailer dropped, the second trailer for The Grinch, and
we responded to the first one when we were working on another site called Filmbook, but that's passed for a lot of obvious reasons, if you know what Filmbook is.
yeah, so we're going to respond to the trailer ourselves for our channel. We're an animation channel, or at least we like to think so.
Yeah.
And The Grinch is animation, or at least we like to think so, because it's Illumination, and, well...
It's Illumination.
I thought I was going to have something wittier to say, but no, Illumination doesn't really make good movies. They're barely above Blue Sky.
Yeah. Well, Blue Sky definitely... For me, Blue Sky has prettier movies.
Like, just visually?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rio is a pretty movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty crappy movie, but it's also like a pretty movie to look at.
Yeah. Like the feathering on all those birds and stuff looks fucking beautiful.
I mean, to be fair, the Grinch, his fur looks amazing.
It does too.
But they also were the ones who helped ruin the Lorax.
Yeah.
Actually, there's nothing to follow up with that. The Lorax sucked.
Yeah.
So I was like, and follow up? No, the Lorax sucked.
Now let's see what the Grinch was. We're excited for it a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am. He's my favorite Dr. Seuss character.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna guess this is a bit more of the story and such. Maybe we'll see Cindy Lou Who and all that.
Yeah, I have more of an investment in wanting a successful Grinch movie from Illumination than a successful Cat in the Hat from Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, first off, I think we all agree after what Mike Myers did to that poor defenseless feline, like...
You shouldn't touch a cat ever again.
You should never touch a cat or a child ever again. But... yeah, like, I want to see a successful Grinch. I would love it, honestly, if we could just get a good slew of Seuss films would be great. I wish Micros, that animation studio we were talking about today,
Yeah.
they did Captain Underpants, they did Asterix and the Mansion of the Gods.
Yeah.
And we saw how beautiful their animation was, and we're like, God, this studio needs to just make more animated films, because it looks gorgeous.
But now we get this.
Yeah, so we're going to give a shot, take a look at The Grinch from Illumination, guys. Bear with us, and... bleep. Oh, that's a bad sign.
It would, yeah. Okay. That's adorable.
Max, stop socializing. Now, let's go in for a look. Watch out. Christmas already? Ugh.
Okay. Kind of who. That looks pretty cool.
Look at those greedy little gift monsters. Oh, hey, look, it's me.
Oh! Oh, we get to see new little Grinch.
Oh, that is different.
Yeah, playing the orphan angle.
So he's jealous of everybody.
Yeah.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely the visuals look really cool.
And checkmate. Again. Today we will do mean things and we will do them in style.
Oh yeah, that classic scene. Yeah. I still don't get why it's November, not December.
Christmas. This perfectly recreates the mating call of the reindeer. Behold. Oh, hey there.
Okay, looks like they're doing a little bit more setup to actually the actual. Oh.
The screaming goat.
Oh yeah, that meme.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
The Grinch.
Yeah, it looks like definitely more setup to the actual stealing.
Because it's snow.
This is the loudest snow I've ever heard in my life. Fred! What are you doing?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, did they just lap the two? I think they might have lapped the two. Well, you might as well respond to this. It's all the same movie.
Yeah. I'm just seeing.
You can sure your audio's in.
Yeah.
I like that was his reaction.
Yeah.
Not even just get up and turn it off. He had to wing stuff at it.
Yeah, smack it. And this is a cute trailer.
I like this one. Like, I love the fact he loves his dog. Like, Max is always happy and he's always grumpy.
Yeah, he's making him coffee.
This is the punch. He's like us.
Yeah, it's with fatness.
Those frowny face is cute.
Yeah. And up he goes.
Because the Grinch is always about building stuff.
Yeah. Definitely, it's definitely most interesting when he's actually inventing something. Like last trailer, this whole shower stuff was actually really cool.
Like, I love it when they personify how wicked smart he is.
Because you would have to be to steal all that stuff.
Today, we will do mean things, and we will do them in style.
I like how enthusiastic he is.
Hello, happy hour.
Because no one likes greeters.
Yeah. And
Excuse me, are you getting that?
no. I'm definitely happy they haven't shown any of the actual stealing yet.
Well, that's the centerpiece.
Yeah.
Why would you ruin that?
Because a lot of people are idiots, Nero.
That's true. I really don't like that they showed the deer character already.
Yeah, because that seems like to be the sort of minion of the movie.
The Grinch.
Just like the fish and the Lorax.
Any man who's good to his dog is a good man.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm sort of looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's a grumpy jerk.
Yeah, he's definitely more technological than the other Grinches too. Which is
The Jim Carrey one was pretty wicked smart. If you well, did you see it?
No, I have seen it.
Yeah, like
he was definitely wicked smart as well, but his stuff was definitely more. I guess more simplistic in a sense, like more.
He didn't have like drones and stuff because that
Obviously.
wasn't the thing of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is Illumination, so they always try to shove the modern stuff in here.
Yeah.
I am kind of interested in the concept of like he was an orphan, so he saw how everybody else had like a fun, rich Christmas, and he never got that.
Now we had. Yeah, now it's just sort of the question of like what made him like really hate Christmas, because I would just make him more sad towards Christmas.
Well, he could have easily developed into.
Yeah.
It was sad for him, but then as he got older, he just got bitter and more resentful, and then eventually.
But you know, they're just going to actually have a trigger sort of thing.
Oh yeah. I love the stuff like playing chess with Max, and he's a horrible cheater because he's a grump.
Yeah.
I think hopefully there'll be enough good in this. I kind of hope that Illumination has started to get their feet a lot better. There's a lot of good visual stuff, like the Pringles cans are all curvy and wiggly too, because it's Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, the shelving is definitely wiggly as well. Like everything has sort of a curve to it.
The scenery is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, the Who's don't look like freaks.
They look like Who's.
Yeah.
I do think, like, I like the fact they wanted to do something new, but...
Like show more of the step-by-step of him actually getting ready to steal Christmas.
That, and it's like, okay, normally in both the Jim Carrey one and the original Boris Karloff in the book, the idea was when he goes down to Whoville, he dresses up Max, he ties a horn on top of his head, he takes a piece of red thread and ties it on top of him, and Max is supposed to be just his reindeer.
Yeah.
And in this case, he like wants to go out and actually get a reindeer to make the illusion look, not ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so he like steals a yak.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's new. It's different because people don't seem to realize the freaking book was never intended to be adapted into anything else. It's a small children's book.
Yeah, of course.
It's maybe like 52 pages, maybe.
Yeah, and of course it can be adapted to multiple other sort of tales and such. Like now we have so many different sorts of Grinches now.
Yeah. And I'm hoping he's a good Grinch. Still, you notice they barely do anything. Like Cindy Lou Who has like one brief appearance in this trailer, and
I didn't even see her.
oh, dude, no, you could totally see her. Watch. When we go to the big group shot, wait for it. That's her. That's Cindy Lou Who.
I barely could tell that was her.
Yeah, she also looks like the little girl from Speak With Me.
Yeah. Yeah, I could not tell that was her at all. She just looks so nondescript.
Yeah, that's sort of the problem too. Is
Cindy
that
Lou is supposed to be the littlest Who. That's supposed to be the cutest one.
well, remember if you're going off of the book, which obviously they changed for this and they changed for the Jim Carrey one. Remember, there once was a Who named Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2.
Yeah, of course, the 2. But I would still think like they would keep her as one of the littlest ones, and definitely cute, because those are the 2 main things.
I don't even really like how the Who's look in this universe. They still don't look Whovian enough to me.
Yeah, they look sort of like what the humans did in
The Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, the lore. No, I meant in the lore.
You know what the funny thing is? They clearly know how to make the Who's look like Who's, because when Horton Hears a Who came out, they look like the Who's.
Yeah.
So it's not like they don't know how to make Who's look like Who's, but for some reason, they don't look like Who's. They kind of just look like people.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks.
And that just makes it sort of like bland in that sort of sense.
Yeah, well, like the Who's were always unique because a Who could come in any size.
Right.
They could be very, very big. They could be very, very small. And I think taking away from that is sort of it's a shortcut, obviously, that they're like because like if you watch the Jim Carrey one, they did come in drastically different sizes.
Right.
That's why you got like really funny scenes. Like there's a part where Jim Carrey as the Grinch is trying to run away, and he calls for a taxi, and a taxi drives by, and then he sees a small little car, and he goes, "Excuse me, folks. Mind if I bum a ride with you?" And they're like little tiny Who's like this big.
Yeah.
And then he pops a squat in their car and they just run away and he goes, "You did the right thing!" And he just drives away in their little car.
I was more thinking of the question, the joke before that. It's like, it's just because I'm green, isn't it?
Where the taxi drives away, "It's because I'm green, isn't it?" And you're like, that's fair. He is the only green guy in Whoville.
You racist.
I do think, look, the goat joke's kind of funny, but it's also a dated thing. It's just, you could tell Illumination has this habit with memes and stuff.
Yeah.
They so want to be like in the now for the kids.
Yeah, like the screaming joke sort of thing.
Yeah. Like Ninja Grinch is funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like
I think Benedict Cumberbatch can actually pull off really well.
I'm
He
looking
definitely
forward
feels
to
like a little bit more of a suave jerk sort of vibe to him.
Yeah, like he's got more like playful demeanor voice.
Yeah.
Because like Boris Karloff, if you remember, it was very, very deep, very masculine.
Yeah, very
and the Jim Carrey one was a little
eccentric and loud.
It's a little bit of, it's like a middle ground thing because it's very low pitch for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's very over the top.
Yeah.
So like there's a part where he like meets Cindy Lou Who, and she comes into his hovel in Mount Crumpet, and he's got this giant monkey with cymbals, and she pops up behind him. And after he breaks the monkey, he looks at her and he tries to scare her.
Yeah.
So he's like roaring in her face and like making all these noises. And she goes, "I think you need a timeout." So then he turns and looks at the audience and he just goes, "Kids today, so desensitized by the movies and the television." And then he looks and just screams at her, "What do you want?" And he's just like really over the top.
Yeah.
He feels like you said, it's gonna be maybe a little bit more subdued, more suave, he's gonna probably be more conniving and scheming, which I like actually, because it's different.
And definitely it lends itself to be the more emotional Grinch as well.
I think it lends itself better too, because he's not gonna be very just like Boris, but Boris Karloff was very, very quiet and just grumpy, and that was it.
Yeah.
Where Jim Carrey, he was a lot more over the top and eccentric.
Yeah, like this guy can walk into town and basically just mess with the Who's in just his own traditional way. He's not like going like, like for a wee.
Yeah, like with the Boris Karloff one, obviously, because it's pretty much just 100% the book translated.
Yeah.
So it follows the book. He doesn't really do much. He only comes down from Mount Crumpet just to steal Christmas, and that's it.
Right.
With the Jim Carrey one, he comes he lives up in his mountain for the most part. He just sort of stays up there, and then occasionally he'll come down and he'll dress up in like a disguise, and he'll screw with the Who's, and like he'll mess with their email, or he'll mess with their letters to each other and stuff like that, and he'll screw with them.
And this guy will just walk around like he's just another just weird green Who.
I like that though, because that is different.
Yeah.
Like he just comes down like every other person, and he's just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But he just happens to be this big green fluffy creature.
Right.
But as long as like no one maybe puts attention to it, because that's the thing too in the Jim Carrey one, they constantly sort of mention that.
Yeah.
Like they mention like when he's a little kid, at one point they say, "How can you get with with that female Who chick?" And he's like, "How can you get with her? You're like 9 years old and you already have a beard." So then like he tried to cut off his fur, to look more pleasing to her, and he ends up like cutting up his face.
And then they all laugh.
And then they all make fun of him, and that's one of the reasons. That's why he ended up hating Christmas, because they bullied him so much.
Right.
Which I'm like, oh, that was fine for an origin, in my opinion. Where it's like, why does he hate Christmas? Because the most traumatic experience of his life as a child
happened
on Christmas. Like, he was a little kid, he was developing feelings, and he was starting to feel love. He was starting to feel happy, and it was all taken away in an instant.
Yeah.
And of course, he looks at Christmas and he deflects
Yeah.
that onto the holiday, where it's like, dude, it's not Christmas that sucks. It's a douchey mayor freaking guy who's got a serious problem with
and
you.
all the other Who's that suck.
Yeah, like it's not the holiday itself.
Yeah, because the Who's really sucked in that movie.
Oh yeah, they were kind of crappy people.
Yeah.
I mean, like the thing is too is like if you know about the book,
yeah,
it's obviously all about commercialism. What's the importance of the holiday? Is it really the material you get, or is it the people you spend it with? Stuff like that. You know, the important stuff.
Yeah.
And the Jim Carrey one, they dialed it up to 11. So like the Who's are super avarice and super competitive about everything.
Yeah, so we'll have to see where the Who's end up in here, because all we've seen from the Who's is just like they do just a family picture.
That's sort of the weirdest thing about two trailers that we've had for this film, though. We only seen Grinch and Max. We haven't seen anything for Cindy, who's supposed to be a major player in the narrative, or any of the other Whovians.
Right.
And that kind of sucks, because she's central.
Yeah.
She's a central part of like what helps make his heart grow.
Yeah. Well, that's only in. Was she the one that made his heart grow in the original book and such? Because I think
not really. What happened at the end of the original book was
that's just all I'm going to ask, because if it's like that, then maybe Cindy isn't as big a player this time around.
I'd be fine with that then, because that's more in line with the original book. Because the only thing that made him grow in the original book was after he was getting rid of the presents.
Yeah, he heard them sing.
He heard them sing, and it changed his heart.
Yeah.
And that's where that's where he was grabbing the sled, and his heart grew 3 times that day, and then he had the strength of 10 Grinches plus 2.
Yeah.
And that's where he lifts the sled above his head. So I'm fine if they play her down a bit, because he really is the central figure. It's about him. It's essentially a Christmas Carol.
Definitely Grinch and Max are definitely the most interesting characters so far.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a boy and his dog.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes from that. I'm still very excited for the movie.
How do you feel about the modern stuff in there, like the drone, the goat meme?
The goat meme is a little bit sort of tacked on.
The drone I'm fine with though, because it's like I could see him making something like that to spy on them.
Yeah.
Like
he's just a technical guy.
Yeah, he's
like you see all the other stuff and all that. Like definitely, he's got a technical place right now.
Yeah,
like he made his own coffee machine for Max to use.
Yeah, and the elevator so Max can get around the house.
Yeah,
and deliver it to him.
Like he's not a low tech guy.
Yeah, that's true. It's not really like we're establishing this. This is probably the most tech savvy Grinch we've had to date.
Yeah,
because he's not really tech savvy in the book. If you ever read it, he just has like a ramshackle sleigh that he throws a bunch of bags on. And that's it.
And then he just ties up his Santa suit and all that sort of stuff. It's very simplistic.
Like Jim Carrey was the one where it's like he made a motorized sleigh and he made like a vacuum system to suck up gifts, and I was fine with that. I thought that was really cool. It was different. It was interesting because it gives him just a bit more character when it's like, oh, he's really smart.
Now this one is going to be basically the smartest of the bunch.
Yeah, this is going to be like the MacGyver of like Grinches, where he's like super tech savvy or something, because he clearly is able to build virtually anything, it seems.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see it will be good in November, the most Christmassy month of them all.
I think they're just doing that not to go against competition.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything that's coming out that's so major. I think Bumblebee's in Christmas.
Yeah, I just don't understand it, because if I'm deciding between like, what's a Christmas movie I'm going to see, Bumblebee or The Grinch?
Well, first off, let's talk about terms of like nostalgia. The Grinch wins hands down. I think more kids, even adults who were kids that have grown up, would love Dr. Seuss more than another Transformer film from those long line of films that are slowly losing residual.
Like, just for sake of example, even if a Star Wars film was coming out that month, like, think about what the audience is looking for. Am I looking for a space opera fantasy sort of thing? Or am I looking for a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's weird that it's going to be in November. I don't know if it was because they didn't want to go against any competition. I don't know if maybe that's something to do with the slate. It's weird. I'll still happily go see it.
Yeah, me too. Like that's probably one of the few movies that I'm actually really just going to go see. Like, not for the channel, but for myself. Like I'm actually excited for this one.
I'm really excited for the merchandise. Because I would really like some Grinch gear for my shelf.
Yeah, that would be
I
cool.
I have such a soft spot for the Grinch, and if I could get some really sweet Grinch swag for my shelf, that would be pretty awesome. I would love to have some Grinch swag. So that's our thoughts on it. I'm always apprehensive with Illumination, because it's like, okay, I really do like the first Despicable Me, and I like the second one. The third one is just so meh that it felt kind of cash grabby and lazy. But then it's like, Minions is terrible. Secret Life of Pets is okay. It was great when we watched it, but like, I feel like it just got sullied because of all the freaking background nonsense. Just kind of didn't help at all.
Yeah.
And then you have, I'm trying to think what else they did. Was the Lorax was Illumination, right? That was terrible. And I was so excited for that, because it's like, oh man, the animation looks really good. Like, the Lorax looks great in this movie. Danny DeVito's the Lorax. That's a weird casting decision, but okay, he's a good performer all the same.
Yeah.
And then you watch the film and you're like, this sucks! This completely missed the core concept. It's all about, you know, you should be against the guy who's the corporation, and the Lorax is the hero. And instead they put it all on this weird character called Ted that they, you know, it was supposed to be that kid character.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, he just wants to get a tree so he can mac with this chick.
Right.
Like, that's not the Lorax. That's not the point.
Yeah,
and then they try to make the Onceler sympathetic all of a sudden.
Yeah, now we'll just have to see what they do with the Grinch now.
And I'll give kudos. At least, you know, yeah, at least they tried something with the Onceler. They failed miserably, but at least I like the fact that Illumination tries to be a bit experimental. They're not as experimental as DreamWorks. DreamWorks has a catalog that's drastically different.
Yeah.
And I understand where people are looking at this and they're like, oh, it's like Despicable Me, but he's green and furry.
Yeah.
I hope it's not that.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
That's what I hope too.
I hope it's its own thing, and I would love a good Dr. Seuss movie. I think we need one. It's been way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
And they keep doing the same properties. It's always the Grinch or the Cat in the Hat. Mm-hmm. You never see that Yertle the Turtle. Or the Starbelly Sneetches.
No, you don't.
Okay, you think about it, you're like, is that real? Or
No,
did you just make that up?
No, I don't know about the Starbelly Sneetches.
Look it up. It's all real. Probably worth the Google. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
And as always, tune in.
To ToonGrin.
Yeah.
Starbelly Sneetch.
You know, it was an allegory for racism.